Hi, I'm Val Pancakes, and joining me tonight on The Stack, I have the hockey hitman, Eden von Engeland. And you can find Eden as part of the New Wave Pro Tag Team Champs, Old Wrestling, and on October 15th on IWTV as part of the Paradigm 4th Anniversary doubleheader, among countless others. Please welcome Eden von Engeland.
Hi. Sorry, I've just got to finish this.
I'm sorry, is that pancake?
It's not just one pancake, Val. I thought I'd be prepared.
You brought stacks of pancakes to the stack.
Yeah. You deserve them. Do you want some? Should I send them through? They might be cold by the time they get there.
I would love them. But yeah, I think that since teleportation hasn't really been invented yet, we're going to have to pass on those tonight. But if I'm ever in the same place as you, we should absolutely go get pancakes sometime because awesome. Now I owe you.
Sorry, now I started eating them now. I can't.
You can't stop. Are you just eating them dry?
Yes, but I do prefer them with syrup. But
I mean,
Sid brought them in and didn't bring syrup, so.
Wow. Sid didn't bring you syrup?
No. I mean, it's not like torture because eating pancakes without syrup is not torture, but you know, it's just like positive, negative. I mean, anyway, they'll be better with syrup.
Yeah. Sid, if you're watching, bring Eden some syrup.
Yeah, Sid. I just started shouting.
Yeah, no, just I mean, do your thing. Don't suffer through pancakes without syrup. No. Sid, bring the syrup. I like. Do you have like? Sometimes I dunk. Like that might be a better with the sheer amount of dunking.
Yeah, I know. I need like a whole mug full of syrup, just like.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe that they didn't bring you syrup.
I know. I'm gonna have to text him.
Yeah.
He's like just in the other room, but it's one of those things where, in this day and age, you know, you get a better response from the internet than. We'll see. We'll see if the syrup arrives.
We don't want Sid to get canceled for not bringing you syrup. So
it is a cancel-worthy offense. So you know, hopefully he'll
redeem himself. Pancakes.
Yeah.
I can't have that on the stack.
It's all right. I think we'll sort it soon enough.
Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I was really excited to have you on. I like every time I've ever seen you like on anything on IWTV, like you just have such like a cool vibe about you, and I really just enjoy you on Twitter. And I haven't had a chance to see you in person yet, but I really hope that I can change that sooner rather than
one day
later.
We will meet.
Oh, and won't it be like I'll be excited.
I will also be excited.
Stop that. So jumping into things, what was a young Eden von Engeland like?
So I was a massive nerd. Not surprising given where I'm at now, but books and more books. And enjoyed. I liked school at the time. Got relentlessly bullied, but I did enjoy it. And dressing up as, so we had like World Book Day and a lot of people, I don't know, do they have that here? Do you have like, it's called World Book Day, but
I don't think that I ever had that, but A, I'm guessing I'm older than you. B, I'm from a really small town and a really small school, so who knows?
Yeah, like it was basically a day where you all came in dressed as your favorite book character. And I came in as Gandalf and my sister came in as Legolas, and I had a big staff with me and a big beard on, and like I got the award for like the best costume and was there in assembly like, you shall not pass, in front of everyone. So
did you get like, oh, I'm sorry, did you get like an award?
I think I got a book voucher, which I don't know if again, it was just a voucher, like amount of money that you could only spend at a bookstore. So,
that's awesome though.
Yeah, that, and I do a lot of drama things with my grandma. So she was, she directed plays and was in the lots of British words here, but we have pantomimes in the UK.
I like community theater type stuff.
Kind of. It's like specifically at Christmas time, and
like Christmas plays.
Yeah, like it would be like Cinderella and things, but you have like moments like shouting out and like interactive kind of with the audience a bit. So so she would do those, and I would be part of them sometimes and go watch them.
My entire knowledge of like UK words is probably a little bit better than some, just because I watch a lot of Doctor Who.
Nice.
And Sherlock.
Nice.
So, and the Great British Baking Show.
It's called the Great British Bake Off.
Here on Netflix, it's called the Great British Baking Show. And I don't know if you watched, but I've watched the last 2 episodes, and what? That poor lady's rocking horse.
I'm not up to date with the latest season, so but now I'm invested. I've got to find out the rocking horse situation. I'm guessing.
There's only 2 episodes, and they release them on Fridays. So I hate that I have to wait. I just want to watch it all right now.
Yeah, I know. What is this going back to like television where it comes out every week?
Right? I was like,
it's like Loki did the same thing, and I was like, I don't want to wait.
I'm like, I'm sorry, what is this? Is it primitive? Is it 1999? I'm a bit perplexed.
Give me all the content now. I need to binge it.
Right? That's what the internet's for.
Exactly.
So well,
I was just gonna say I've watched a lot of the Great British Bake Off, but like Sid would often put it on like to go to sleep. So he'd watch the series and then he'd like replay it in the background because he can't sleep without sound, and so I've like developed, whereas I find it easier to sleep when there's no noise, so I've developed like this like low level like annoyance with it, which is nothing about the show, but just because it's been on so much and I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, Paul Hollywood's talking about bread, and I'm like, I just want to
having carb dreams.
Yeah.
I'm a sleeper with sound, and I have fallen asleep to Great British Bake Off numerous times.
It's pretty soothing. It's got good background music. There's never too much stress. Even when they're stressing, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's absolutely like a comfort show for me, where I'm like, I know I've seen this 17 times, but let's go for number 18. So how did you decide to pursue wrestling, going from like book world?
So I have dyspraxia, which is like a motor coordination thing. It's something that as you practice more sports and stuff, it gets easier. So I was terrible at sports as a kid, and then I started playing, but I would keep trying. Like I was kind of one of those kids at school that was like wants to do the sports, but it just doesn't do very well. I got a medal once for falling over in a race and still going to the end of it. So as time went by, I did more sport, and I picked up ice hockey and played some hockey and rugby as well at school, and then at university. And having done drama before, I was like kind of both sides of wrestling were there without me knowing it. And then basically I went to an Eve show in the UK. I'd never seen wrestling before. I went, I loved the people there, I loved the performances, and I just decided I had to do it. So Pro Wrestling Eve was like my reason. I would have never discovered it if I hadn't have gone to that show.
So did you train over in the UK then?
Yeah, so I started training in the UK. I went to an Eve training session, and then I looked for places that were like a bit closer to me, like emailed around, and trained there. Trained at a couple of places, so UBW, Ultimate British Wrestling, and at Hustle Wrestling in London. So yeah.
What were some of the best things you learned while training? Like what has like come with you this whole way?
So I think when you're wrestling, like there's a lot of things you have to think about, a lot of like movement, and so for me it's really being able to like lift, like as stupid as it is, like just being able to like lift people and throw them about, like it's something you don't learn to do at all. So it's like even the basics are just some of the best things that you find. I think I learned to handstand while I wrestled. I could never do that as a kid, or cartwheel. Actually, I think that's my favorite thing, even though it's like tiny. It's like as I said, I was one of those people that wanted to do things but couldn't do them. So eventually cartwheeling. I was like, there's a video I think Sid posted on Instagram a long time ago of me going after I managed it. So yeah, I think the favorites has really been like the basics and getting to those, because then everything is contextual after that, really.
So what made you come here, like, to America?
Is that where we are?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Cleveland. Even weirder choice by most people's standard. So I am a scientist by day. I have a PhD in medical physics. Medical science. I did my undergraduate degree in physics, and I met my wonderful supervisor over in the UK, and at a conference he was talking about Ultron and he was talking about Voltron, but he was talking about generally superheroes. He was talking about how his lab all fits together like Voltron, and basically was also talking about like other wrestling stuff and making references. And I was like, he's so cool. Ha ha ha, mom, I'm gonna move to Cleveland. And then we chatted afterwards, and yeah, the rest is history.
And then you did.
Yeah. So yeah, we moved in January this year. So it's been like 8 months. I can't do time now, but yeah, so not been here over half a year now, but not that long.
Yeah, you've been here approximately 10 months. So yeah. I'm very new to the area, but yeah, really tearing up the place, because you're already tag team champion somewhere, and I've seen you on like 4 or 5 different promotions that I know of. So like, that's awesome that like you're making your mark here and doing it so quickly, but you landed in a really good place because there's a lot of wrestling in that area.
There's so much stuff in Cleveland and in Ohio, and the Midwest has just got so much wrestling. I think technically if we were down in sort of Cincinnati or the Cincy area, then that would be like the closest to like the most things at once, because that's just incredible place to be at the conjunction of everything. But yeah, we're still super close to everything, which has made it really easy to go to new places and introduce ourselves and do seminars and meet people. So yeah, it's been really fun.
And so I definitely thought that you were probably here before that. I just didn't know who you were, because I'm still sort of new, and especially places I've never been. But like, that's so surprising to me, because it seems like you've been here, it feels like you've been here forever. Like
yeah, I think people kind of they see us wrestle, and they sort of like, why don't I, you're at a level where, why don't I know you already? But I guess you just appeared, but like you're already kind of most of the way there in terms of the presentation, you've got a lot going, but you're not, but I didn't know you. And it's just because we've come across the Atlantic. I think the other thing people constantly think the British thing is a gimmick, which is just so funny to me, because I'll be talking for like 20 minutes and then they're like, oh, so you're actually from the UK then? They like can't work out whether I just put I wouldn't even know how to put this accent on. It's like not any, it's very middle to North Britain accent, so it's it would be a strange choice if I was putting this one on. But
I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if it was as gimmick
Real,
accent
yeah,
or
yeah.
real. So, but then I think I saw something like really not even that long ago that you had posted, and I was like, oh no, I think it's legit. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, but what if it's not? Because wrestling could go either way.
Yeah, I know. Some people just have a big commitment to the gimmick. No, it's very much born and bred in the UK. Only been over here for a little bit. So, yeah.
So anybody out there, if you're wondering,
I am British.
Eden is for real British.
I've got to say it's Tuesday, isn't it? That's what everyone gets me to say.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right. So came over here, started just wrestling everywhere apparently. Do I need to call you Dr. Von Engeland?
Technically, yeah. So
I mean, that kind of sounds like an evil villain name.
It really does. I should, lean into it, become the mad scientist I was truly made to be. But
I mean, maybe.
It's like, if Brit's making being a dentist her gimmick, then I should be flaunting it. But
you should. Dr. Von Engeland.
Worked hard for that PhD,
Right? I absolutely think that you could probably beat up Britt Baker. Just saying.
I know. It's up there with matches that need to happen, but I haven't got like a sign for my PhD.
Speaking of matches that need to happen, your match on October 15th against, and I'm gonna tell you, against friend of the Stack and the Bald Monkeys, Shay McCoy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my two hockey people are gonna beat each other up. Yeah. I was really excited about it. That is a dream match in my head. So
it absolutely was for me as well. Coming over, I was like, this is one of the matches that I definitely want to have in the US. So I'm really, really excited that it's happening. Really, really excited for that. I think we've both got kind of brawler style. I've got a size advantage on on Molly, so we'll see what Shay, what they can pull out. And yeah, Shay's very cool, but we have to decide once and for all what which is the superior hockey, and it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I think me just as a fan really wins on that. I was really excited that we were able to sponsor that match, especially because I was going to interview you anyway, and I had already interviewed Shay, and I was like we were all really pumped about it. The two guys, big hockey people, so it was just a really good fit for all parties involved on that one.
It's so awesome.
I'm super excited. I will be watching that live, obviously. I literally don't have anything else to do, but I would watch it anyway.
Yeah, I'm super hyped.
I'm excited that it's going to be live on IWTV. So, who has had the most influence on you both in and out of wrestling?
I think Sid's up there only because he's come through with me and helped me during my training. And we spend so much time watching wrestling together and talking about things. Now, like with us tagging and everything, it's very much like we spend a lot of time thinking about wrestling together.
That's so cute that that's a couples activity.
It is. It's adorable. But yeah, it's in terms of other influences for me, like I've watched a lot of people in wrestling like Bull Nakano and Jazz, and people who defied stereotypes of their time, and just wanted to come out into the ring and beat people up regardless of who they were. So they're people that I always look back to for inspiration with matches. And yeah, one of my biggest outside of wrestling is probably my grandma, who has passed away, but she meant a lot to me. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
okay.
I don't want you to cry.
Gotta go through all the
no.
emotions. Sorry, I'll comfort eat the rest of these pancakes. The syrup's arrived.
Yay! Sid brought you syrup.
Syrup. Oh, you can't see it because of the Zoom thing.
I can make out. It looks like how I look at things when I don't have my glasses on,
Yeah.
where I can only see shapes and colors, and I can absolutely work out that is the shape and color of syrup. And now we don't have to cancel Sid, so win-win.
Yeah, exactly. He's redeemed himself.
Sid's gonna get canceled. He's not even doing anything.
Even though he made the pancakes in the first place as well. I'm still here complaining.
So what are you looking to, what are your future plans and dreams within wrestling? What keeps you motivated to keep going?
For me, my favorite thing is just being able to engage the crowd and get the excitement of a match behind you, to really get people invested in wanting to see me fight. And so to me, I just want to wrestle in front of more and more people. That's really my main goal, because I know that to do that I need to get better, to engage people more, and just have to keep getting better. And that if it's not always my goal to wrestle in front of more people, then I'm always going to be kind of heading upwards in terms of promotions and eyes on me and stuff. I try and use that as a goal rather than specific promotions, just because I don't have a lot of control over who decides to like who at which time of day, on who you see and when they see you. But I would like an opportunity to wrestle on for a major company, but I think AEW would be a better fit given my career on the sit on the side, my scientific interest too, but really just looking for as many opportunities as possible so I can keep improving and entertaining.
So you've been here for a little less than a year.
Yeah.
How long have you been wrestling total?
So it's a hard one, because I was at one promotion, debuted very quickly, I had a sidewalk gimmick there, so I was doing very simple stuff in terms of my moveset, and kind of it was, I would go out and have the same kind of match every time. I didn't have that many, and I sort of had 6 matches in my first year, and then it was half a year where I sort of retrained or learned a lot more stuff, and then we came here. So I don't know, it's I'm about 2 and a bit years in. So wow. It's hard for me to keep track, because as I said, gimmick changes and country changes and COVID, it's hard to.
Yeah, honestly, for really starting your wrestling journey, 2.5 years ago, and having to go through, figuring out who you were, what your style is, all that stuff, and then COVID, and then you moved here, and now you're wrestling on a whole bunch of indies here all the time. It feels like it was just such a fast progression.
It really awesome. Accelerated here. I think I wrestled more matches here than I did in the UK. So in the last few months. So yeah, it's been quick, but I'm enjoying it. So it's the main thing. Yeah, it's the only downside is it's pretty exhausting, but it's worth it because I enjoy it. But yeah.
I was gonna say, I think you're somewhere every weekend.
Yes, yeah, we're pretty much 2 places at least every weekend, sometimes 3. So we've got 2 this weekend, We're at War in Lima, Ohio. I've got a really cool tag match planned up there. And then Old in Detroit. So that's going to be really fun.
I want to go to an Old show so badly.
You need to.
Love it. The whole gimmick is great. I've been going to local stuff here since 2012, and probably within the first year and a half of me going to shows here, I saw Marion Fontaine and instantly like love it. Like love the gimmick, love the wrestling, love his style, like just perfect. And I love old wrestling so much. I watch it all the time, like on IWTV. Nice. Like there's just so many like great talents doing things that are a little different than what they normally do, and it just all like I'm a nerd, and it just works for me.
Yeah, like, I love getting the tennis racket out and just whacking people with that instead. It's great. I'm trying to update my outfit a little bit, so I've got something a bit more comfortable, but still on brand. But yeah, it's just great idea, great creative promotion, and that people, as you say, people get to do something a bit different. You see really, really talented people just getting to not have to do the same thing, I guess, as we're kind of saying. You can, in wrestling, you can end up doing a lot of the same thing because it's your character, it's your moveset, and etc. But it's really nice to go to Old and be able to kind of mix it up.
I went to a bunch of indie shows WrestleMania weekend, and one of the shows I went to was like an IWTV like showcase show, and they had like an old match on it that was Will Wrestle and Hugo Lexington Black, and one of the just most entertaining and funniest things I've ever seen. And I'm like, I need to see Old so bad.
You do? Where are you based again?
I live in Omaha, Nebraska. It's terrible.
Bit of a distance.
A little bit. I'm hoping, like, I've been traveling a lot to go to shows and stuff this past year. I've traveled more during the pandemic than I have in the past 12 years of my lives put together.
See, it's a good 12 months, you know?
Right? It's like,
you're doing
let's
the right
go.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. Where we're at.
Right? I'm like, yeah. I haven't caught COVID yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited about not getting COVID.
Yeah.
I am fully vaccinated, but especially with all the traveling, especially before the vaccination, and going to large events with lots of people, like I don't quite know how I've managed to not get COVID, but
if the people around you are being sensible and wearing masks and stuff, it's a bit easier. I think we had it in the UK, but it wasn't at a point where they were testing people. So we had very sick, fever, everything else, but unless you went to hospital at that point, you weren't being tested for it. It's like there's a thing when you have a high fever, like several months later your hair will like basically fall out. So I was like, a few months later I was like, oh yeah, this is probably it was probably COVID. This is not the usual response. So
yeah. So like, how was it? Because you said you came here in January.
Yeah.
How was it going from the UK, where I'm pretty sure everybody was in like full lockdown, not doing anything, to here where it was kind of like, hey, like,
yeah, people were complaining here about the restrictions, and it was like, this is nothing. Like in the UK, you couldn't meet anyone from a different household. Like you could only meet one person outside, but at some point they even like restricted that. So there's a lot of people just can't see any family, anything for such a long time, that coming here, it was cool because we suddenly got to go out and do things again. We got to get restaurant food, or go and get a drink somewhere. We've gotten a bit obsessed with breweries since we got over here, but so it was just really weird. I think especially in the training scenario, where it was Sid and I had only been able to work train with each other for like 6 months or more. We bought like a crash mat for our back garden. The couple of sessions that we had at a wrestling school, we had to just be with each other. So we would like very, yeah, that crash mat was great fun. Like we need to buy another one and just suplex each other in the garden. But yeah, it was very strange to suddenly go into a room full of 20 people and throw other people around instead. It's like, I've forgotten how to lift anyone that isn't exactly this height and shape.
Yeah, I just all of a sudden was like in my head, I just assumed that you and Sid just throw each other around all the time. Like it's always wrestling practice at the Von England household.
Pretty much is. It's just like you walk through the house and suddenly there's a hold on you and you're like, okay.
Like I love that.
Suplexes onto the kitchen floor or anything, but yeah. They have to be directed towards the bed.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Obviously. I know I saw on Twitter within the past couple of days, people did not know that you and Sid were a married couple.
So yeah,
I don't know why it was really funny to me.
Because people will say, oh, how are you and your brother? It's like, and it's just yeah. We used to, in the UK, when we first started doing these characters, we'd make out during our entrance. So it's like very strange to me that within, obviously those people haven't seen those matches, otherwise maybe they'd know. But yeah, it's funny when it's workers as well that don't know. I think that's when it's wrestlers, like that's even funnier, because we arrive together, we spend loads of time together, we're talking at the shows and stuff, and people are still like, oh, these two, I don't know, people seem to say we look alike. I don't think we look alike, but
I mean, I wouldn't say that you look alike necessarily, but I would say that you do kind of look similar enough,
yeah,
that like you could pull off a sibling gimmick. But
yeah, like the thing is, in the UK we were trying to be like we were actually being explicitly unclear about our relationship. Here where we've been like, oh, we're definitely married, and people are more confused.
So for everyone that might be watching that was questioning the relationship between Eden and Sid, they are indeed a married couple.
We are.
So like, don't be weird
it's
about it.
It's the only reason he can be here, so.
Well, so I know that you said that you're a scientist outside of the ring. So what keeps you what keeps you motivated to keep doing science things and being Dr. Von Engeland?
So I work in my PhD was in cancer research. So it's very much, that was very, very close to patients in terms of not working directly with them, but their data, their samples, like you're right next to the clinic in that sense, really trying to understand how their diseases work, how they respond to certain treatments, how we can tell how a patient will do and understand why their disease went a certain way. So part of it is being able to change the future, I guess, for people, make things better for patients, for the general community. But it's also, I am also a massive nerd, so there's also an element of just really loving to solve new problems and understand things in new ways. And people don't quite realize it, but science is quite a creative discipline, in the sense you have to come up with new questions, you have to solve things in your own way. There's no one telling you day to day, you have to do this, you have to do that. There's no schedule other than kind of answering a new question, and the way that you go about that is really up to you. So I work on modeling evolution. By that I mean I model cells and how they develop and change over time, how things like cancer develop, and how certain genetic mutations can make it happen quicker, how certain conditions can make it happen quicker, or how or slower. And then the idea is about kind of adding treatments in a certain way to control that evolution, so to control people's tumors or control resistance to a drug, so stop patients having untreatable diseases is the aim. So yeah, it's a lot of thinking, a lot of coding. I spend a lot of time on the computer, but I have an extremely friendly, extremely passionate lab that I'm part of. They really, one of the reasons that I really enjoy this, I didn't enjoy my PhD anywhere near as much as I enjoy the work I do now. And it's about having that supportive environment. And I once said that I wanted to wrestle. I think I said I wanted to wrestle in everyone's home state, and they all were worried for a very short amount of time that I was saying that I wanted to wrestle them all, and they were all like, no, we can't fight you. I was like, no,
and you're like, I'm not asking.
States.
I'm telling you, I'm fighting you.
I think they're all a bit scared of me, but
I mean, fair.
I didn't bring the hockey stick in though, so it's fine.
Oh. I mean, maybe you should just once they know you're serious.
Just stick the belt on, walk in with the hockey stick. Oh, there you go.
You could wear your tag belt. This is part of your general outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm underground women's champion too, so got 2 belts right now. So
you're eating 2 belts.
Yeah. I was nearly 3, but I lost my XVW women's championship belt in a no DQ 5-way match, so I got put through a table. Stuff happens, so
yeah,
one day I'll be 3, I'm sure.
You know, I get put through a table on the daily, so I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, no, just casual, as it happens.
Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't,
Sometimes you're putting people
sometimes you're going through the table, sometimes you're putting somebody through a table.
Exactly.
Anything can happen. Yeah. It's wrestling, baby. So what has been your greatest achievement in wrestling so far? And that can be like whatever that means to you. If it's like a specific title or some match or opponent that you've had or the friends you've made along the way, like whatever that means to you.
The new wave tag belts, probably one of my biggest accomplishments. I think very proud of achieving that, partly because it's with Sid. We've worked together as a team for a while. It's really nice to see that starting to pay off. It was incredibly important to me as well that it was just a tag match. It's just the tag belts. There isn't intergender attached to it. We held our own. I don't know if have you seen that match. It's very good. We enjoyed it a lot. Just if I do say so myself, but yeah, no. It was just really really fun to be part of that, and to fight in that match. And I think when Sid and I are spending so much time together, and we travel together because I have the car and I can drive, and so Sid has to come to everything that I do, and vice versa. So it's just nice when we're doing something together and we're kind of building what we want to. I think not everywhere will book us as a tag team just against any other tag team. So I think being able to do that and being able to come out of that match as champions is just really like good moment for us. So.
And you beat the Tart Foundation, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With former stat guest Mr. Matt Brannigan.
Yes, Matt Brannigan and Aaron Atlas. Yes, they did a very good job of trying to keep those belts. But yeah, we got the win at the end. So.
And I do think that's up on IWTV if anybody is interested. So what is the greatest obstacle that you've overcome in wrestling?
Ooh. It's either my ADHD, my dyspraxia, or gender barriers. I think I am very distractible and don't have the best memory in the world. And the coordination things I mentioned have meant that, like, really it's just overcoming like things in myself, whether that's partly communicating with people more effectively, to be able to work with people in training and everything, being able to kind of get my body to do what I want it to do, and to kind of be up there and be confident in what I'm doing, and the moves that I'm trying to put on or do or give. I think I did have an issue with confidence before I came over to the US. So as much as I can appear fairly confident now, I had a lot of doubt around and nervousness going into matches that I thankfully don't have as much of now. They're much more enjoyable for me to be doing. I did enjoy it in the first place, but I think I'm glad to be at a point where I'm not scared of going out there and just trying to win. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that you talked about your, like, especially with the gender barrier.
Yeah.
And as far as like you and Sid being in an intergender tag team.
Yeah.
And it's cool that New Wave Pro is, you know, giving you that opportunity to like showcase that, as well as, you know, giving you title opportunities and winning those titles, and like that you can continue on. I think that I love intergender wrestling. I think it's great. And I think that it's getting more and more accepted, at least on the indies here, at least ones that I pay attention to. So
yeah, I think like it's hard because, as I said, not everyone will book it. Not everyone, even though I'm as tall as a lot of the men on the roster, I'm as heavy as many of the men on the roster. Like I'm not 6 foot and really wide, but I'm not small by any means. And I think it's sad sometimes that we can't necessarily go and do the same matches or face the same opponents in some situations that we'd want to, or that sometimes the gender stuff becomes like a bigger part of the match than I'd like. So sometimes fans or people are funny about those kind of the matches where I might be wrestling a guy and I just want to wrestle, like, and I identify as non-binary, so I just don't want to be falling into any tropes and things. We just want to wrestle the best people out there and have the best matches that we can have. So the more we get to do that, the more other people will trust that we can do that in the ring, and hopefully it'll just keep happening.
Well, I mean, you're being booked so many places already. I hope that you, especially you and Sid, as a intergender tag team, do get more opportunities to go more places, because I personally, like I said, for me, like I just personally really like it, so I just want to see it everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. Just want to see all the coolest wrestlers doing their thing.
Right. I just want to see all my favorite wrestlers beat up all my other favorite wrestlers, and I don't care if they're a man or a woman or non-binary, don't care about any of that.
Exactly.
I just want to watch my favorite people beat each other up. Is that so much to ask?
No, it's not.
Thank you. Glad we're on the same page.
We are. I'm all for it.
So, what is your wrestling? You're going on road trips, especially because you're driving all over the place. Yeah. What is your go-to road music?
Oh, so we actually listen to podcasts a lot on the road rather than music, but when the music goes on, it tends to be musicals. So it'll be like Hamilton got played a lot.
I love musicals.
Yay. So Sid got really I love Hamilton. The soundtrack's great, and I know there's issues with it for various reasons, but it's very well performed, and it's got a lot of unique aspects to it. It's really good, cool piece of art, and it's really fun. I learned a lot. I learned most of my knowledge about US history from Hamilton. And Sid,
good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, it happened exactly like that, right?
Yes, precisely. Complete with all of the dance numbers.
Exactly.
Those are historically accurate.
Yeah, George Washington walked in, they were all like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, so Sid got so obsessed with Hamilton that he started just playing the backing, just the music, I can't remember how the word for it, but without the lyrics, and that was on and on and on and on. He can sing it very well, but we've gone back we've mixed it with enough things that Hamilton's back in the rotation. He's not bored himself.
So I was like, so Sid does Hamilton karaoke?
Oh yeah, we do it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we both love karaoke. One of the it wasn't really a date, but it was for various social activities in the UK. We went out as a group with wrestlers, and we did a lot of duets. It was very cute, and he also did Limp Bizkit Rolling, and we had some Moana in there, and he does a very good Maui impression. So. And we sang that song from Frozen with the sandwiches. Love Is an Open Door. We sang that one. It was very cute. We've done karaoke as well as that, but we both enjoy singing a lot. So yeah, that's kind of what the music that goes on is. That, and I'm a bit obsessed with the Evan Hansen soundtrack. So I haven't seen the movie version yet, but haven't heard amazing things.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, and I haven't I'm kind of I don't know if
yeah. I kind of want to see it because I do like the soundtrack a lot, but I heard it is basically the producer or director is the Broadway Evan Hansen's dad, and it's like a vanity project kind of thing. So I think that explains why it's maybe not up to the standard that people would like it to be.
Yeah. So what podcast do you listen to?
My favorite murder is the big podcast. I think there's something about so it was a lot less terrifying to listen to it in the UK because all of the murders were happening in the US in the podcast. So it was that's far away and not relevant to my life at all. And then suddenly you'll be suddenly they're talking about things or behaviors that you're used to and using American words, and you're like, oh yes, I do know what a laundromat is now. But I think there's something about the low level anxiety of a murder podcast that's good for keeping me awake when we're driving back at 4 a.m. I'm I can't go to sleep. There's thinking about this horrible murder.
You get like invested in it. You want to see what happens.
Yeah, I hate the unsolved ones so much.
Right?
Now, why are you telling me if you don't know the answer?
That means that person's still out there and could potentially kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm probably very far away from them and they have no motivation to kill me specifically, but it is possible. So,
I mean, the world is a screwed up, messed up place. So, like, the thing though, like, I know just from like the fact that I'm a little bit obsessed with like the UK in general. Nice. It's a thing. I don't know what to tell you.
It's Doctor Who did it to you.
It's Doctor Who, it's Sherlock, it's Benedict Cumberbatch, it's Tom Hiddleston. Like,
they both have the most UK names as well.
It's like Hugh Laurie. It's like, what am I doing here? Like, nonetheless, I know that like over there, it's very like distance is very like, it's not like it is over here.
No, I think
because like it's not that big.
Yeah, it's kind of here. Like there's a lot more distance between the bigger cities. I think is there's obviously a lot fewer cities in the UK, but the idea, for example, that we would drive 10, 11 hours to maybe 12 to Alabama, like you couldn't even, I don't think you could drive between two promotions in the UK and it'd be that long. Like you've probably gone to the furthest south one and the furthest north one, and that's like the extent, that's the furthest you could go. Whereas like you haven't even talked about Texas or over the other coast or whatever. You know, there's so much further to travel here. It's just so much bigger, so much more open space here. You haven't been to the UK then? I presume you want to go.
Yes. Very much so.
We're planning to go back and visit family in December, so I'll just put you in the suitcase.
I was like just fold me up, dog.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Never coming back. Bye, y'all. I'll just pop out of like some like storage trunk and just like start living my life.
Just carry on. What happened to the podcast? Well, I'm British now.
Well,
can't stop me.
We just have to do it at a different time now that I'm located in the UK.
It's like 3 a.m. there now, so crazy. Yeah.
We'll adapt. It's fine.
Adapt, survive.
So my other question then is like, what other musicals do you like?
Oh, I like Wicked. Wicked's a good musical. The Lion King, I was one of the first musicals that I saw. So yeah, I saw it in London. It was very cool. I was a bit obsessed with High School Musical series for a while. Not sure if that counts, but it kind of does.
I mean, technically.
Yeah. Me and my have you ever played the SingStar games?
No.
They're like karaoke games. They were on they might still make them, but they're on PlayStation. One of my best friends and I, we'd just get home we would go to my house from after school every day and just play it for hours and hours on end. And they had like a High School Musical one, but we just ended up getting worse. We'd also do like choreographed dance routines to various songs together too, so it was fun.
Is there any like video proof of these things?
I will have to ask her. She would always want to do the singing. Like, so even though we would both sing if we were playing SingStar, if we were doing a performance, she had to do the singing and I had to do a dance routine. So yeah, exactly. So they were usually at her house, so yeah.
Somebody wanted to be the star of the show.
She did. But look who is now.
Right? The star of this show.
Yeah. No, she's great. she's a teacher now, so she will not be up at 3 a.m. on a school night.
Good. I mean, if she is, I'm gonna call her out. Like,
Jessica, stop taking the spotlight.
Right? Someone's a little bit of a glory hog. It's okay, but
it's okay. I forgive her.
So one of the questions I like to ask people is like, what are your favorite road snacks? But like for you, like even more so, because I know that food is very different here than it is over there.
Yeah.
So what have been some of like your like best finds over here, or like the things that you were most anticipating like eating? I'm a fat girl. I love food. So
yeah, I love food too. I think before we came here, we'd have a lot of like pretzel bites, you know, the like Hanover's ones, and the other ones, the flavored ones, are really good. So when we got here, there were small pretzel bites, and that was good. So they're a good road snack. I didn't know they existed, but I've gotten really obsessed with fruit snacks. I know they're just sugar, but because they have the word fruit in them, that's obviously healthy and it's fine.
I mean, you can find ones that are made with like real fruit juice, if that makes you feel better.
Exactly. It says they have vitamin C in them, so it's good for me. It's fine.
It helps stave off scurvy.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've got to worry about it, you know. One of the kind of we ate a lot of Taco Bell when we first arrived. It was like the place that we'd stop at a lot. But there's a theme here that basically Sid gets obsessed with things and then gets sick of them very quickly. So Taco Bell was one of those things. But then we recently met Alex Zane. It was an AIW show, and Sid said to be like, "Oh, we need to go to Taco Bell again." So,
Alex Zane will do that to you.
Yeah, exactly. He should have sponsorship.
He really should. Have you partaken in a Baja Blast?
I actually avoid caffeine. So I have tried it though. It's nice. It's not like I had a friend on Facebook who I had never met, and she lives in the US, and they'd always post like with a Baja Blast all the time, and I thought it was going to be like incredible. But I just like, it's like a good soda. Like I wasn't blown away. I wasn't like, this is the best thing ever. Not.
So you were a little let down by the Baja Blast.
I was.
It did not Baja Blast you away.
No, it did not live up to my expectations. But there are a lot of flavors of it. Now, as you go, and we did. Sid does like Baja Blast, so we bought a load of cans from Jungle Gyms the other day, which is a very, very cool place, and everyone should go to Jungle Gyms. But
what is, I don't know what Jungle Gyms is.
It's this institute. It's this like Ohio institute.
But you're really excited about it, and I love that.
It's like I live tweeted going to Jungle Gyms. It was that exciting. Basically, it's just a giant supermarket. But the front of it looks like a zoo or a fairground, because they have like giant plastic animals. It's very decorated, and then they have foods from everywhere in the world. So they had a UK section, complete with animated Robin Hood fairground-esque big thing above it. Like it's like full of, you know, the moving plastic kind of animated large,
like animatronic, like
yeah. There's loads
like
of them
Disney
all
World type.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They have a bar in there, so you can get a beer or another drink before and walk around the store with it. They have their bathrooms. The front looks like porta potty cabin things, and then inside it's like a really fancy bathroom. It's just weird but cool, and it's an experience. They have a lot of good alcohol and food, and yeah.
I mean, that sounds legit. If we had one, I would go to that for sure.
Right.
I don't know that would be like my everyday shopping place, but like that would be like my like party shopping place. Like,
yeah, exactly. And we went when we got to get like UK chocolate and stuff and things that we missed from home. So
UK chocolate is just a little bit superior to US
it
chocolate,
is.
and I would die
It
on
is.
that hill.
It is. I don't think anyone should think otherwise, but unless they just like bad chocolate.
I mean, fair. But like I've definitely ordered flake bars from Amazon.
Yes,
so.
flakes are so good. Crunchies are really good if you had crunchy. It's the honeycomb one.
Oh no, I haven't. I haven't tried that one. I'll have to like
get some and just store them away for the day I meet Val.
That would be adorable. But no, I'm like I told you, I'm kind of like just a little bit obsessed with the UK. But like for a while, I was on like a worldly snack binge, and so I was like just getting things from everywhere. And like the flake bars, I was like, these are lit, yo. I was all about that flake bar. So is it you? So normally I ask people like who your wrestle buddy is, but I think your wrestle buddy is, for better or worse, Sid.
Yeah, I think Lena Lennox is one of the people, like the South Ohio people kind of got close to because we have had quite a lot of bookings down there. Lena Lennox is we've done like some drives down with her to Alabama and things like that. So she's someone that outside of Sid I've spent a lot of time with, as well as Kat, as someone who she's spent a lot of time visiting and things as well. So there's a few people, but yeah, Sid's the person that kind of go everywhere with.
So what has been your favorite city to wrestle in the US so far? You said you went down to Alabama, so I assume you were at New South.
Yeah, so we were at New South and the Belladonna division, and the promotions that run out of Gadsden. Alabama, crowd-wise, Alabama was great. They are so enthusiastic and so involved in the wrestling. And I think at Alabama in the Belladonna division, we've been given a lot of time to get ourselves over, talk to the crowd, interact with them outside of just kind of appearing for a match and then disappearing. So that's been something that's been really fun because when you get the opportunity to do that, you just get much stronger response from the crowd when you do have the matches. I'm thinking whether you spend so much time driving to the place and then you do a match and you leave, so it's like haven't really gotten to see the cities very much outside of wrestling in them. But yeah, crowd-wise, Alabama takes it just for their sheer enthusiasm.
That's awesome that like you again like made your way down there. Like it's so like you guys like hustle like.
Yeah, like it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of driving, and I don't know the geography of the US that well, so it'll be like I'm like, yeah, we can totally do Indiana one day and then West Virginia the next day. That's fine. They're like next to each other, right? No, Eden, they're not next to each other. No, they're like 10 hours apart and you have to drive all. Okay. Let's go.
Let's go.
I think the best thing you can do when in wrestling, apart from just getting training and making sure you're getting better every time, is just get in front of as many people as you can. And that's really what I've been trying to do here. What we've been trying to do is just take the opportunities to get out there. And it means, yeah, I'm driving a lot, putting miles on the car, sleeping in the car sometimes. Spending the entirety of my weekend back to front doing wrestling stuff to go straight back into my job, which is not really a 9 to 5. It's a very involved job, but it's the only way that you can get yourself out there, and the more people that you rest in front of, the better of an idea you'll get about how to do it and how to be a good wrestler. I think you can get into a routine when you have the same crowd every time. They already know you, they already have an opinion about you, you're already over, right? So it's easy to just get into that routine of, I go out, I'll do my usual thing, and they already know me, they already like me, they know my shtick, so they'll react to it. But you learn the most when you have to go out in front of a new crowd for the first time. And so just keep doing that is the plan.
So what is your favorite move to take, and what is your favorite move to give?
So Sid does this blue thunder bomb, which is like you get spinned around and then you go into a power bomb, and the spinny bit is really fun. Power bombs are not fun to take, but the spinny bit makes it worth it. So yeah, I'm like, I can fly, and then I'm like, oh, ow.
And you're like, nope, gravity.
Yeah, exactly. I think yeah, that's a fun one in terms of that. I've been doing the electric chair recently, which is fun for me to drop people from that high. But my favorite move to give probably at the moment is I have a half and half suplex, half and half German. Just go like yeet away from my head. So,
you say that when you do it?
I should. I say it internally.
You should
just scream it.
You really should say it externally.
I will. I'll try. I'll get a bit in the zone. So I
can understand that. You have to focus on, not hurting yourself or your opponent.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
There's a lot going on. Do you have any like pre-match rituals?
Honestly, no. My meds make me kind of not actually. So pre-match ritual, yes, but not just right pre-matches. Show day mornings is Dunkin' before we driving another 6 hours, and because I can't really eat during the day that much, so basically I just like I have as much food as possible earlier on to stock up, and yeah, pretty much get the same thing every time. So I'm obsessed with their maple bacon sandwich things from Dunkin'.
Bacon is legit.
Yeah, it's maple bacon, so it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, I want one now, but it's not the morning, so I'll wait. There is a 24-hour Dunkin' near here those days.
What?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Dunkin', so I should make that my gimmick, and then they can give me free Dunkin'.
I mean, you absolutely could. Are you like a coffee person?
Yeah, like although I don't have caffeine,
or are you like
I love the flavor of coffee. I used to be a tea person. So I used to be like obsessed with tea, and then I had like 5 teapots, and I had like the loose leaf, because in the UK most tea is tea bags and most tea is English breakfast tea. But I would buy loads of different loose leaf teas, white teas, green teas, teas with various bits of flour and spices in. But when I stopped having caffeine, it's actually really difficult to find any interesting teas, like the same teas that I wanted to get. Like none of them were decaffeinated. Like white teas don't have caffeine in, but a lot of like the green teas and the exciting ones that had all the different flavors in, I couldn't get anymore. So I transitioned to coffee because you can have like all the syrups and the milks and the things, and it's really easy to get decaf coffee. Pretty much you just can get everything normal coffee wise, but decaf. So yeah. So I like coffee.
So what's your typical Dunkin' coffee order?
I get a iced decaf latte with skim milk and with French vanilla swirl and blueberry flavor shots.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a blueberry vanilla iced latte.
See, everyone always has like their standard go-to order for coffee. People that are coffee people.
Yeah.
I am not a coffee people, but
are you a tea people?
No, I don't like either, like really. Drinks? No, I really don't.
Yeah, my sister
and I don't like the taste of it either.
Yeah, my sister doesn't like hot drinks. She yeah, not a fan. So should relate to that. I think I don't know. I'm obsessed with the flavor. I love the flavor of coffee. I love the smell of coffee.
I like the smell of coffee. I just don't want it anywhere near my mouth.
Yeah.
It just tastes like bitter, and it just doesn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah.
And I don't like hot beverages. I don't like soup either because it's a hot, meaty beverage.
Oh, that is interesting. Soup's great. I love soup. My mum makes a really good soup.
I mean, you can have all of the soup that your little heart desires. I will abstain from soup related activities.
I think, have you ever had like a cold soup?
Yeah, I'm just not, I like, first off, like, I don't really like hot liquids. I don't want to fish around in like meat or vegetable juice for like a piece of food I want to actually eat. And I really just don't want to like drink my meal. There's just nothing that does nothing for me.
It's all about dipping the bread in the soup though.
Well, then it's not really functioning as a soup. It's functioning as a dipping sauce.
Yeah. But you like dipping sauces? No,
not really. Right? See, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, I like barbecue sauce and like teriyaki sauce and marinara sauce, but like that's the extent of my saucing.
Wow.
I know, I'm weird. Yeah. We all have our things. Mine is that I'm a weird picky
barbecue
eater.
Sauce.
Yeah.
Have you been to Mission Barbecue? I think it's just an Ohio thing, actually.
I haven't. I don't think that we have those here. See,
we just went in one, right? We'd never been before. It was like we went in at like 5 to 12, so nearly midday. Clock strikes 12, not literally because there wasn't a big clock there, but like it was 12, and suddenly like the national anthem comes over the speakers. Everyone stands up like this, and we're like a few weeks into being in the US, and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening?
Oh no. That sounds
really
traumatic.
Yeah, I really want to bring my family here and not tell them, and then just have them experience it because it's wild.
That's great. Like yeah, I would be terrified. I'd be like, what in the hell is going on?
I think it's like,
do you want me to do this? Like,
right. Everyone, the customers, the staff, they're all singing with their hand like this, and we're like, I'm not joining in, okay? I might know the national anthem because I like songs, but I'm not from here.
I'm not from here. It's like no, look, like a special like I'm not from here card. Like
also known as a passport.
Yeah, right. No, you need a card that says I'm not from here, and then you just flash it. Yeah,
it works for a lot of things actually. Any sort of social pressure situation.
I hate your like any weird like getting pulled over while you're driving. Like no.
Yeah, no, that happened to me for the first time today.
You got pulled over today?
Yeah. No, like recently, a few weeks ago. Yeah. I've never been pulled over in the UK. It's more common here, I think, partly because you don't have traffic cameras as much. So you try and catch people speeding, whereas in the UK, there's just cameras everywhere. So they don't bother stopping anyone for speeding really, because you'll pass a camera in the next few minutes and then you'll get a ticket for that. But yeah, basically it was really like late or early. It was like 3 or 4 a.m. We were coming back just from dates in South Ohio, but we'd set off late and got some food on the way back, and I'd actually left my wallet, like my purse, at the accident. Realized as we were like 3 or 4 hours on the way back, And then we got pulled over, and apparently the streets are deserted. Apparently I pulled into the turning lane slightly too early and got stopped for that.
So I'm sorry, because you just turned into a robot and now you're frozen. Oh, and I'm hoping that it's fixing itself. It's like a flip book.
No, let me just see.
Hopefully it works itself out here in a second. Yeah. But yep, we're kind of good now. We're good now. Okay. Cool. So you got pulled over because you had entered a turn lane too early? Is that?
Yes.
So fun fact. Welcome to the US, but also oh, are you still there? Because I think you froze up on me again.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I was like, I don't want to lose you. A lot of times, like, you'll get pulled over, especially if it's late at night like that. They'll pull you over for some like minor like BS thing to see if you're like drunk and driving. Right. So that would be my guess as to why that's occurred. I got pulled over because I went over the center line at one point. I don't really think I did. I'll be honest about it. But I was jamming to the Backstreet Boys, and I couldn't tell you one way or another if I did or not.
Right. Like, you just can't keep track.
Right. And I'm like, come on now. Plus, I don't drink or do drugs or anything. I'm a nerd.
Right.
And so I'm like, no. Like, have you had anything to drink? And I was like, no. And they're like, have you had anything else? And I'm like, no. Thanks, but no. Not that I have a problem with people that do any of those things. I just not to. So have you had, other than getting pulled over for some BS, do you have any other really good road stories?
Yeah, there's one, which is basically when I was driving down to Alabama, this time without, is the connection still?
Yeah, I can, like, your audio's coming through fine. Your video's just a choppy mess.
I'll do that.
Oh, I lost you all together. I hope Eden comes back. In the meantime, hello. How's chat going? That's not the first time I've said hot meaty beverage. That's probably fair.
To answer your question, Val, the chat is going well.
Good.
Eden just signed out of the Zoom here, so I will have to let them back in when they attempt to come back in. So we will get everything going, hopefully in a little bit.
Awesome. I'm just reading the chat.
Bear with us. We do have a couple of questions from chat. We of course have the lightning round because you guys talked about chocolate. I had to change a question. Damn you.
Sorry.
And Eden is back. Let's see how this works.
Sippy sip.
Hello.
Paging Dr. von Engeland.
Hello, I can hear you now.
Okay, I can hear you. Your photo, like, there's no video. I just have like a picture of you.
Nice. Let me just.
We do have a like a nameplate in the Twitch thing, if that helps you.
Sorry. Yeah, it's the. I'm on my phone now because the internet fell down.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've kept you too long.
Yeah, I just can't work out how to get the camera back on my phone, but yes. Basically the story involved getting locked out of my car on the road.
Oh no.
Yeah. This phone's too new. I don't know how to do anything on it. I'm not sure if I can get the video back.
Well, we can just go as we are.
Yeah.
These things happen. Oh, almost had you. We'll just go as we're going. If you can figure it out, awesome. If not, fine too.
Sweet.
We'll just do what we do. So you got locked out of your car like whilst traveling? Eden? Oh, I think we've lost them. Well,
Hold on.
oh, nope.
Eden is
Eden's coming back.
trying to come back in again. Let's see how this works.
There we go.
Hello.
Awesome. Welcome back.
Hi.
We had an intermission, as it sometimes
We did.
occurs. It's fine. I'm for it. So you got locked out of your vehicle whilst traveling?
Yeah, so I hadn't had the car that long, and I stopped to pick up Skylar. I was riding with Skylar Orion and Harley Fairfax. I stopped to Harley Fairfax's to pick them up, and I managed to lock my keys in the boot of the car. At which point I was like 4 hours from from home, and I was like, I thought we had to go all the way to Alabama. I was like, this is gonna be dreadful. I don't know what to do about this. At which point Harley is like, don't judge me. She goes inside and she comes out with a full like break-in kit for the car and manages to break into my car with it. And I was like, you're the best. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So,
Well,
yeah. If you need to get into your car, Harley has the skills.
Important person to have with you on the road then, in the future. Makes themselves worthy of the car load.
Exactly. They have to do a lot less of the driving now.
Just comes out. It's like I can't even imagine what like just no big deal.
I was like, what's she gonna do? Like she wasn't like, I've got something good. No, she was just like, don't judge me, and then disappears. I was like, what's gonna happen?
That's fantastic. To just like come in like rescue you like that.
Yeah, it was the best. And we got on our merry way.
Right? So what is like, because you told me like musicals, what other music do you like? And then what would be the most surprising song that you have on a playlist?
Oh.
The one thing that people would look at you and be like, I don't think that they would like that, but here we are.
So first is, what other kinds of music do I like? I like alternative rock, punk stuff. I was very much like a Linkin Park and Paramore teenager. So they were kind of my go-to bands. In terms of surprising songs, it'd probably be something that I've sung a lot from SingStar, so I know all the words to, but it's like not in my genre because they're just playing all the songs. So like Build Me Up Buttercup is a song that I used to sing loads in a Scottish accent with my friend. But would not be something that I would just naturally gravitate towards.
Fair enough. If you had an action figure of yourself, but it was like one of the ones that talked, what 3 phrases would you want it to say, and then what accessories would it come with?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. Okay, it needs to have the hockey stick. An obvious accessory. It needs to have a headband accessory. It needs to have, I feel like I need a science accessory, but that would just be my laptop. Which isn't a very exciting accessory, but it is what I do all my science on. So maybe just a flag. There you go. Got a British flag in there. Catchphrases would be, I'm very bad at noticing what I say that's different from anyone else. Be like, should be very generic.
I mean, you could create your own catchphrases.
No, that's true. I could create new ones. Be like, there'd be a shut up in there because I like telling people to shut up. There'd be I'd have like something stupid like for Britain or something ridiculous. And then I'd have my own, like, instead of like DMD, I'd have like PhD. Like I'd be like PhD.
Have you ever gotten like a dumb like USA chant at a show?
Yes, every show, every
show.
Yeah, and then I go UK. Which is not a chant that anyone ever does outside of me. And
Why wouldn't you want your action figure to say that then?
It would. That would be a great one.
Combat all those USA chants.
Yes. On every show without fail.
Every show? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
You need to see it, yeah.
I think that is the absolute corniest chant in wrestling. Like people like don't like, both these guys or fight forever. No. The dumbest one is the USA chant. Yeah. That's by far the stupidest chant in wrestling. And
I love it in Alabama.
To the surprise of nobody. So that's a hill I'll die on. Is USA is the corniest chant in wrestling. Other than your gear and your phone, what do you not leave for a wrestle trip without? Like, what do you have to take with you? Other than your gear and your phone.
Yeah, I have to take, so I have to take a blanket, a little fluffy blanket, because sometimes you need to nap at the car. And I always have to take some snacks, but that's usually the fruit snacks. So,
do you have a specific type of fruit snack that you prefer?
There's the Halloween ones at the moment, and they're my favorite because they're little pumpkin shapes.
What brand are they?
They're oh my goodness. Let me see.
If you don't know, it's not like a big deal, but I'm just kind of curious. I love fruit snacks. I'm a big like Fruit by the Foot or Gushers gal.
Oh, okay. Nice. No, it's not one of those. It's like, is it Welch's?
Okay, those are good. Those are fire.
Yeah, they have. The Welch's fruit snacks have Halloween version at the moment.
Nice. I'll have to I will look for those. I think the Welch's ones are the ones with like the actual like 0.6% fruit juice or something.
Right,
so
right, exactly.
those are the healthy
with real
ones.
Fruit juice. Yeah.
You get like just a tiny drip in each fruit snack, but knowing that
I've seen fruit before, so
it was packaged next to a fruit, so I think it counts.
Exactly.
So, what's the weirdest request you've gotten from a fan as a wrestler?
So there's obviously a lot of very, very weird requests that are, it's late on this channel right now, but there's some
Yeah,
there's some very strange ones. Some fans, I've signed someone's face before. That was a bit weird. Because they want to pick me up, that's also interesting. But yeah,
I don't like that.
No. Yeah, fans are interesting.
Have you noticed the difference between like UK fans and US fans? Like,
yeah, the UK ones, like the US ones, are more like they'll say anything. They're very like they're less. I guess British people are very polite, like, or reserved. So I guess you see that especially in wrestling. So even though they'll shout chants and stuff, people in the UK are like less likely to ask for weird stuff, especially in person.
Fair. So, what wrestling word do you use most outside of wrestling?
Oh, probably like pop. So like, yeah, that popped me. Or like that's probably that. Or yeah, be that one.
Popped is mine too.
Nice.
Mine, I'm always like, oh, that popped me. But I hear gimmick a lot. A lot of people use gimmick. Bring me the gimmick. Throw that gimmick over there.
Yeah.
Like, gimmick is a word for everything. I get that one a lot.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I say blew the spot.
I'm sorry, what was that?
If you've messed something up, sometimes I'll say, oh, you blew the spot. So like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like every time I ask people that, they always have a word is the thing. There's nobody that's like, I don't use wrestling words outside of wrestling. If you tell me that, I know you're lying. You just don't realize you're doing it.
Yeah, we use it so much. It's like part of our vocabulary, so it just makes sense to say it outside wrestling too.
Like, I'm not a wrestler, very clearly, but like I said, I've been involved in my local scene and going to my local shows since like 2012, and all my friends are either in wrestling as wrestlers or wrestling related people. And it's like, even like I picked up on it and I use them all the time, so I know that all you do too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's especially because of said, like, it just means the person that we're around all the time is a wrestler as well. So it's yeah, we probably do it more than most people. I think my housemate, who's never watched, like, while I was housemate in the UK, she's like never watched wrestling ever, and she still would like pick up on the words because we've used them so much in the house.
See, it just spreads like wildfire, and you just can't control it. It just takes over your vocabulary.
Soon everyone will be.
Your fellow scientists will be telling you to pass on the gimmick, or
yeah, I haven't quite like infiltrated them with the language yet. I'm a bit of a minority there, so yeah, we'll try. We'll work on it. We'll get it over.
So outside of wrestling, we kind of talked about this, but we talked about you are into musicals and you're super science and you like books. Is there anything else like that you're into that we haven't touched on yet? Like anything weird or different?
Yeah, we talked about true crime podcasts. I used to play the French horn. I don't anymore. That's pretty cool. I think I kind of, oh yeah, I mean, I like playing D&D. haven't played too many games yet, but I used to listen to a lot of podcasts about it, and now been starting doing some games with people from work. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I played the French horn in 6th and 7th grade.
Whoa. Yeah.
I was like,
It's
shut
such
up.
a random instrument.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. I was like, you said French horn. I was like, shut up. I was terrible, but I played it nonetheless.
Do you miss just blowing out the spit out of the bottom end of it?
That was always like a really satisfying part. Is like,
Yeah. I leave it.
That's awesome. Like, that's so cool.
I feel like if I picked it up again, I would not.
Oh,
I would be so sad about how little I could.
yeah, I would be pretty terrible, to say the least. Like, I quit because I ended up because I was terrible, but also because I had braces and it just didn't really work very well together.
No.
But yeah, no, if I tried to play French horn again, it would be a nightmare. It would just be so bad.
We should do it one time. Just somehow both get French horn and do a duet on the podcast.
Special Twitch music edition where we play the French horn terribly together.
Yeah. Everyone needs to see it.
So what would you tell, like, if you could go back in time, like, what would you tell a 10-year-old version of yourself?
I would say that, like, I would tell myself not to worry as much about what other people think. I think I've spent a lot of time in my life worrying about people's opinions of me, but also just about worrying more about their experience of life than my own experience, like focusing on other people's happiness or enjoyment of things and not my own. And I think I would just say, yeah, it's not selfish to think about yourself. Those are two different concepts that I didn't understand at the time. Self-care was not a part of my understanding. So yeah, that and just tell myself to, yeah, I mean, I've always been someone that doesn't give up and keeps going at things, but I would just, say tell myself that's a good way to go about things.
So have a couple more random questions for me, and then we have Chuck with the lightning round.
Nice.
Which I'm sure you will just absolutely love. and then we'll wrap up. But so I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm very Twitter active. One of the things that I do is we have Twitter Spaces. I don't know if you've investigated the Twitter Spaces at all.
They're usually when I'm like in the gym and I have no headphones. But yeah, I listened in on some of the Wrestlers Court ones that Sugar and that were doing, which are amazing. But I haven't really listened to many of the other ones.
So I've kind of made friends. Like, there's like a group of probably about 30 of us that like kind of are like our space crew. And so the reason why I bring it all up is because this is kind of a shout out to my space crew, because this is a space question. What is the biggest animal that you could take in a fight with just your hands, no weapons? And you can pretend it's attacking you, so it's like it's like you have to thing.
That's a good question. Maybe like a capybara. They're quite small. They're not like a big one.
Like you say capybara?
Mm.
Aren't they cute as heck?
Yes. Which is why I would be able to fight it now. I could fight something bigger. Just I can't think of many mid-ranged animals. It's like an elephant is obviously too big. I feel like a lion is a bit too scary, bit like too sharp in the mouth area. Yeah. So it'd probably have to be some kind of bear.
So may I suggest a sun bear,
Nice.
which is a bear, but it's kind of a smaller bear.
Yeah, I've seen a sun bear before.
They're my favorite bear.
Got them on those. Nice. Yeah. Good shout.
It's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to take like a grizzly or like a polar bear.
Even a panda bear's quite.
Yeah, panda bears are lazy though. Like they're pretty docile. But yeah, no. All right. Glad we worked that out. So you had pancakes earlier. I'll just give a shout out to Sid. Thank you for making the pancakes and for bringing the syrup and not letting Eden languish in the syrupless land.
Yeah.
But how do you normally take your pancakes?
With syrup. I do like syrup and butter, but I don't usually have butter around to have them. I do like IHOP's chocolate pancakes. The double chocolate ones are really good. But I did recently have some where I was like, oh, these are kind of squishy in the middle. I was like, oh no, this is just uncooked batter. Like they just made them so big. They were really, really big, but like because they were so big, they weren't cooked properly. And I was like, oh no. This is not melted chocolate. But yes, double chocolate pancakes.
Hell yeah. And then, so like, I'm going to set a scene for you. Just go on the journey with me. And then we'll go to the lightning round. And then we'll talk about your upcoming shows. And then we'll take questions from the chat. But for now, like, mentally prepare yourself for this. I'm going to set the scene. Okay. You're hungry. Okay. Are you there? Let me know you're there. Okay.
I'm there.
So you're hungry. You want something sweet to eat. Mm-hmm. You're like, you go to the store and you're like looking around. Yeah. Maybe it's that jungle place. I don't know. And you go to the cookie aisle and you're like, you're right. I do want cookies. And not only do you want cookies, no. You want America's favorite cookie, which is indeed the Oreo. Yeah. So you go to the Oreos and there's like a bazillion different flavors now. Life's crazy. But you're like, no. I just want like a regular like chocolate cookie, white cream, middle Oreo. Nothing fancy for me today. But you have choices still, right? Because you can get like a thin, or you can get like a single stuffed, or you can get like a double stuffed. So like, which one are you going for? Double stuffed.
Yeah.
That is the unofficial correct answer to the question.
Yeah, always got a double stuff.
Right? Who doesn't want more stuff?
Right.
So what upcoming shows do you have? I know you said you have something this weekend.
Yeah, so this weekend, got War in Lima on Saturday, I've got Old in Detroit on Sunday, and then next weekend I've got the Paradigm Show, which you have sponsored, and my fight against Shay McCoy, which is going to be really great. I think we've got a lot to throw at each other. So yeah, so going to be a huge variety. Tag match there. Eden Holcroft tennis coming out to play on the Sunday, and then the UFI-est of UFI fights. We've got the real scrappy, hard-hitting stuff with Shay. So I know Shay's been doing some sort of more hardcore matches lately. So I think they'll be very ready for the fight. It's going to be intense.
I'm very excited. I was like, when that match got announced, like we were like, all of us were really stoked. So very excited. Can't wait to watch it. Like, so stoked. I'm now torn because I love you both, but I just want you guys to have a good match where you each do your best and don't get seriously injured and have a good time.
Yeah. And I think we'll pull out all the stops and really use that opportunity to show each other what we can do. So
Chuck, are you there? Brilliant.
I am
did
here.
Did you unmute yourself so that everybody can hear you?
I did. Of course I did.
Why were you making fun of me in chat with how long it takes me to get to the question? I'm sorry. I like to set the scene. I like to give the the whole backstory. I don't just like to pop the question. Jeez.
I know.
I've got to be there, you know. I've got to be in the moment, otherwise I can't answer the question properly.
I
Right?
hear you. I hear you.
Do you? Because you were talking smack about me in chat.
I will talk, and I will continue to talk smack when it comes to that question. But at least it was answered correctly, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Be cookie.
Okay, so the first thing I have to say is this sun bear. I had to Google this thing because I never saw it before. Man, this is the freakiest looking bear in the entire world.
It's the best looking. It's the cutest bear.
It's like it's tiny, not tiny. So
see, I think wait, let me see. Sun bear.
And it's chest like the marking of like the half circle of like the sun looks cool, but it looks so weird. Like I saw a picture of it standing up. It almost looked like it was like a cobra with its like chest like flattened and its little paws that look like sloth hands. Oh man, it was weird. I don't like.
Why are you hating on the sun bear, Chuckles?
I don't like. No.
You just are gonna make me want to go to our zoo because we have sun bears at our zoo here, and they're like one of my favorite things. So don't make me go to the zoo and take 1,000 pictures of the sun bears and send them to you, because don't act like I won't do it. I have Monday off. I got nothing but time.
Damn.
Apparently capybaras can weigh more than sun bears, so.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Maybe.
They don't have the claws though.
No. The capybaras are cool. They have them at one of the local zoo places here where I live in Central PA. But anyway. I digress. First off, Val, Vi says hello. V. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Nope, you're fine.
But first two questions are from V. So Eden, the first one is: if you were in a match where the stipulation was the finish had to be a top rope move, what are you going with?
Frog splash. So I do actually hit that sometimes. So that's my go-to top rope move.
Nice. The second question from V is, who is someone that you haven't wrestled yet that you'd like to?
So putting Sherry aside, because they're coming up soon, someone I haven't wrestled that I would really like to wrestle sometime soon is Becca, scrunchy Becca.
Yes.
Becca's been on the stack also.
There's people in AEW who like Penelope Ford I met back in the UK. She actually gave me some few pointers from a show. And this is back when Sid and I were making out on our entrances. So we saw some of the same stuff that Sid and I were doing. They used in their wedding stuff and their coupley things they were doing. So it was fun. But yeah, I'd really like to wrestle her, just to kind of bring it back around and show her where I've gotten to since she first saw my stuff.
So AEW, I know you're listening. Let's set up. We already tweeted out we want the Doctor versus Doctor match. So let's get this one booked as well. AEW, come on. Okay, one of our regulars, Vic. Question is, who are some of your favorite UK wrestlers?
Ooh. So I think there's a few people who are doing a lot for the scene right now. Dean Allmark is incredibly talented technical wrestler. He's incredibly creative with his moves. So from a technical side, I really appreciate his work. On the women's scene side of stuff, Lizzie Evo is doing some really cool stuff all over the country at the moment. She's doing really well. The whole Progress women's division is doing really there's a lot of people coming up there right now. I know her old name's Bobby Tyler, but Stevie, she's in NXT UK at the moment. It's really cool to see her. She came up through my training school. A couple of years ahead of me, she went over to Japan, and now she's in NXT. And she's doing really well for herself. There's so many of the women that I could probably put 10, like Nina Samuels is doing amazing things in NXT UK. Laura Di Matteo's coming up through Progress. Sky Smitson's one of my friends who I met on the first couple of shows. So yeah, there's just a ton of talent there. Everyone should kind of go and at least watch the Progress stuff, but there's just, it's really nice because I do speak to a lot of them still, and we have training calls and things and tape studies back with groups from the UK. So it's just really awesome to see them all doing really cool stuff on the NXT brand and the and Progress brands, and especially people who I've trained with and who I've been friends with for a while. So yeah, some great stuff there.
Very cool. Everybody go follow them if you can find them. I'm sure you can find them on Twitter, so go follow them. Next up is our very own Christopher. He wants to know biggest differences from wrestling here versus in Britain.
So the USA chant is one thing.
They don't chant that over there? What?
I don't know. So someone asked about, I was on a podcast I was listening to where someone was asking what we do in the UK for 4th of July. It was like, we don't celebrate that, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, but wrestling wise, yeah, the biggest difference is USA chant's one of them, and then just the distances that people are willing to travel just makes a difference to the wrestling culture, because if you're willing to travel so many hours with people, you're going to carpool, you're going to meet a ton of different people, but it's a lot more kind of cliquey there, like smaller groups and local stuff, just because traveling isn't as common, and it's smaller, so people kind of stay on their local scenes a lot.
Cool. Okay. Now I know you guys talked about music. I heard you talk about SingStar. I love karaoke. I love playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero. So I live out my rock star dreams that way. Vic from our chat had another question. He wants to know what your go-to karaoke song is.
So I spent a lot of time singing Dido White Flag. It's not the go-to song of, like, if I hadn't have played it so much on SingStar, but there's some songs now which I just know like back of my hand. There's a few McFly songs as well that could be on there. Just because they're so well known. But the 30 Seconds to Mars, The Kill is probably one that I just like getting very into emotionally.
That's a good song.
Were you an emo kid?
I was, yes. I've always had this hair color, so I never quite.
Emo kid.
Yeah.
I was like, you said Paramore and Linkin Park earlier, and I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. My Cam, 30 Seconds to Mars, and lots of other bands that I'll just start listening, and then
Okay, the last question from chat comes from Old Bad Guy, and the question is, what other countries would you like to wrestle in?
I would love to wrestle in Japan. I think people go there and they just get they get so much better. I just think they train really intensely there, but they just focus on the fundamentals, and I just really would love to have that learning experience. And Germany is another place that I want to wrestle. They have a cool scene there. There's a few WXW and people I've seen go over there, and just feel like it'd be quite fun, whilst sort of being near to the UK, that I could kind of go. I want to go to Ireland too, so that'll take it off for now. Everywhere, that's the right answer, right?
That works.
Works for me.
Okay, that's it for questions from chat. I think I got them all. My next question is, Eden, are you up for the challenge of the worst spot of this entire interview, the lightning round?
Yes.
Christopher, cue up the intro video. Okay, so it's 10 questions. first thing off the top of your head.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay. I believe the video is done. So 10 questions. We're going to start. Here we go. Number 1, salad dressing of choice.
Salad cream.
Wait.
It's a thing in the UK.
Okay. Sour cream?
No, salad cream.
Salad cream. Okay. Whew. Okay. I'm okay with that. Number 2, favorite board game.
Monopoly. It's not.
Do you ever flex the fact that you're a doctor?
Yes.
Drew Carey always said Cleveland rocks. Does it really?
Yes.
Place in the US that you really want to visit?
Alaska. It's a whole state, but I want to visit.
That's, hey,
Interesting choice.
I would love to go to Alaska. Okay.
I thought you would say Disney World.
Oh.
That is a close second to Alaska, apparently.
Number 6, if someone sneezes more than twice, do you still say bless you?
Yes.
While playing field hockey, does it annoy you that you can't use the back of your stick?
Yes, it does. Yes, it really does.
Favorite animal?
A capybara.
Thing you most miss about England?
My mom.
And number 10, if you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be with?
My mom. No. Yeah, I mean, yes, but Chris Statlander also. Does she eat alien food? Who knows?
Who knows?
What is alien food?
You'd be able to tell us when you go out to dinner with her. That's it. That's 10 questions. That's a lightning round. You have passed the 10 question test. Thank you, Eden. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun. And Val, back to you.
Back to me. I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. It's been an absolute blast. I hope that you had as much fun as you can have, like talking to a stranger, but really talking to your phone.
Yeah,
but
I feel like I know you really well now. But it's weird to be like, I didn't really know you before this. So it's fun.
Awesome. I'm glad that you feel that way and that you're not like, wow, this broad is weird and I never unfollow, block on Twitter, see you never. At least I hope that you don't. That would be really weird now if you did that, but that's fine. If you do, if you want to, it's up to you.
I'm not going to, but thanks for letting me know that I could if I wanted to.
I mean, if someone doesn't want to be my friend, I mean, I get it.
Exactly. You can't make them. You get it. You can't. You get it. You should want to be your friend. You're great.
I'm okay. But thank you because you are awesome. Dr. von Engeland. Where can people find you other than like Twitter, Instagram? I don't know. Do you have an OnlyFans or a TikTok? I don't know what you people do.
So my Twitter is at Eden_B_E. My Instagram is at Eden.wrestler. I have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/Eden von Engeland. That's ENGELAND. We've put an extra E in the middle, not like the country name.
There. You really have to, I mean, you really want to differentiate yourself. I get it.
It's the Dutch spelling, so.
That's fair. So make sure to find Eden at all of the places you can find Eden and follow them on all of them because it's important. Because if they're doing this much after only being here for like the entire time it takes to have a baby, then you know that they're only going to get bigger and better and be more places, and it only makes sense to get in early so you can be like, oh yeah, no, I've been following them for like 2 years already. Like, use it for bragging rights if nothing else. But this has been The Stack. I'm Val Pancakes, and this has been the hockey hitman, Eden von Engeland. Be sure to check them out on Paradigms As the Rush Comes, and that is streaming live on IWTV on October 15th as Eden takes on fellow hockey human and friend of the Stack and the Bald Monkeys, Shay McCoy. And make sure to, again, follow them on all of their socials. Thank you Eden for hanging out with me tonight, and thank you people in chat for hanging out, and to anybody that's listening to this in the future, thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you.